Let's learn about oxygen concentrators today. It is a device that concentrates oxygen by removing nitrogen from the gas supply, which is room air. The composition of room air includes 78% of nitrogen, 21% of oxygen, and 1% of other gases like carbon dioxide, argon, etc. This clearly shows that the air is mainly comprised of two gases. One is nitrogen and another one is oxygen. If nitrogen is removed from air, the primary gas that remaining would be oxygen with purity of about 90 to 95%. So in simple words, the oxygen concentrator works on electricity. It takes in room air, removes nitrogen from it, and provides 95% of pure oxygen. The removal of nitrogen is done by two methods. One is pressure swing absorption and another one is membrane gas separation. So we have two types of devices. Larger devices which weigh about 15 kgs, which are used in home and can provide high flow up to 10 liter per minute. The smaller devices weighs about 2 to 5 kg. They are made for outside use and it's operable for 2 hours. The parts of the oxygen concentrator includes compressor, heat exchanger and humidifier, bacterial filter, two molecular seabeds, which is made up of sodium aluminum silicate pellets, zeolite crystals, and oxygen accumulator, a product tank, oxygen flow meter, and outlet. So now let's see how the oxygen concentrator works. The ambient air or room air is drawn into the machine by the compressor. The air is compressed into the first molecular seabed and all the nitrogen is absorbed. The molecular seabeds are porous and thus have large surface area, due to which they absorb large amount of nitrogen. Now because air had only nitrogen and oxygen as the main components, the primary gas that remains is oxygen. This oxygen has a concentration of up to 95% and is ready to be supplied to the patient via oxygen delivery system like nasal cannula, oxygen mask, etc. The compressor keeps on compressing air into the first molecular seabed till it gets saturated or filled by the nitrogen. Just before the first molecular seabed gets saturated, the switch valve comes into action and the output of the air compressor is switched into the second seabed. While this seabed gets saturated by nitrogen, the nitrogen that was trapped in the first seabed is vented out. The little nitrogen that is left in the seabed after discharging is removed by backflushing of the oxygen from the other seabed. The switch valve again switches the output of air compressor back to the first seabed as soon as the second seabed approaches saturation. This process keeps on repeating to ensure continuous flow of oxygen. This process of switching the seabed is known as pressure swing absorption. The output of oxygen is then controlled using a flow meter, where the flow can be set manually in liters per minute. Oxygen flows through the outlet, where an oxygen delivery system like nasal cannula or mask is usually connected via humidifier. So at the flow rate of 1 to 2 liter per minute, the FiO2 achieved is 92 to 95%. As the flow rate is increased greater than 5 liter per minute, the FiO2 level drops around 85 to 93%. So it is one of the disadvantage of oxygen concentrators that when the flow rate is increased, the FiO2 gets decreased. Oxygen concentrators are used mainly for the patients who need long-term oxygen therapy. The indication includes PaO2 less than 55 mm of mercury or saturation less than 88% in room air, or PaO2 55 to 59 mm of mercury with saturation 88 to 89% with signs of cor pulmonale, includes pedal edema, polycythemia, P pulmonale and ECG. And with PaO2 greater than 60 and saturation greater than 90, The indication include excessive desaturation or sleep desaturation which is not corrected by CPAP. The advantage of the oxygen concentrator includes it is cost effective when continuous O2 is needed and it is a low pressure system. And the disadvantage the FiO2 decreases with increase in flow rate and backup O2 is always needed because disruption in electricity makes the system inoperable and high electricity consumption. Thank you.